All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of Let's Talk. And I have some special guests with me today. We've got Jim Ferrer and Coleen Paz. Thank you guys so much for joining. And how are you guys doing? Let's start with Coleen. What's going on?
Hi guys. Well, wait, sorry. I'm good. I'm good. I'm actually in my friend's house today, and we just got back from vacation, and ayun, parang start na ulit ng daily grind
Yep.
sa Kumu kung saan we're all doing our thing. Because Kumu is life right now. Kasi most of us are like on the internet na wala masyado sa outside world, and we can't do stuff like shows like that and gigs like we usually do before. So for now, it's just all online.
Nice.
And I'm so happy to be here to share my stories and experiences to you guys.
That's awesome. So, you've been Kumu, and obviously for people that don't know, Kumu is like a live stream platform. And so this whole like setup of you talking and just being live in that sense is nothing new, right? Parang you've been able to adjust a little bit, you think?
Yeah, oo. Pero like it's just like it's just like parang kwentuhan session with everyone and like super random lang. So it's nice because all of the people there are so interactive with us also.
That's awesome. I mean, I'd love to get into that. We'll probably dive into that a bit more. But thanks for sharing. Ikaw, Jim, how's it going? What's up with you?
But before I say how am I,
Okay.
Coleen, di ba, ang maganda rin sa Kumu, everyone's positive.
Yeah,
diba? That's why it's nice to tambay kasi walang bashing, walang anything. Yeah. So how am I? Well,
and like parang
Are you a Kumu user also, Jim?
I am, but I stream from time to time because after ECQ, medyo naging busy na ulit. Parang sabi nga nawawala na tayo ng hope, but biglang dumadami na naman yung work, dumadami yung turo, dumadami yung mga projects. So I am quite in a state where I'm good, but still uneasy because of nature, ulan, lindol,
true.
Just, diba? But I'm okay. I'm surviving and still hoping for the best because like what I've told to my last podcast. English, si Teacher Maya kasi English. So so to my last podcast, my best friend and I said I don't want this to be the new normal. I still miss the old normal. I mean, this is the new normal for now. But I wanna go. Kumbaga kung wish ko, gusto kong bumalik sa dating normal kasi, diba? But at the end of the day, as long as you're alive, you're eating 3 times a day. Well, I'm on diet, so 2 times a day. I'm good. So at pambayad ng bills, I'm quite surviving. Yes.
Nice, man. That's a great life update. You're right. I agree. Like it's a difficult time right now. And I think in terms of the positive part about it is, maybe this is as worse as it gets, hopefully. And from there, it's only going to go up. I mean, like you said, it's a temporary thing. How temporary and how long, we don't know. But eventually, we will be back to normal. So that's cool, man. Thanks for that update. So for the people that are just tuning in and getting to know Coleen and Jim for the first time, I know them from my dance community. Obviously, si Jim, we go way back in terms of like dance teams and other coaches. He doesn't want to talk about his. I won't mention the age or anything like that. Or like
bookingers.
And si Coleen, I've had the pleasure of teaching and dancing with at the Steps Dance Studio. So we'll go a little bit into that. Obviously, you guys have so much, like a lot of good background in terms of like musical theater. And both of you guys have also been in a couple TVCs. So we'll explore that a bit later. But I want to go and ask you guys a little bit of how you were sort of introduced to dance, because if I'm correct, right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but dance was probably, was it your first exposure to that, and how did you sort of jump into the world of dance? Wow, this sounds so deep now, but how did you jump into the world of dance? Pwede naman tayo mag-Tagalog eh. Okay lang naman eh.
Yeah.
So siguro let's start with we'll go with Coleen muna para like yung mga history with Jim, you know what I mean?
Actually, si Jim yung alam lahat ng history.
Mahaba-habang history.
True. Kasi newbie lang ako, newbie here.
So guys, Coleen, tell us a little bit about your background in dance.
Well, I really started dancing talaga na professional dancing nung college. Pero nung college, nag-start ako ng parang hip-hop crew sa Benil, yung Team Elite. And then, parang I said to myself, parang, hindi na ako magsasayaw. Ayoko na magsayaw kasi college, ganyan. So, galing akong Batangas. So, parang gusto ko maging normal lang yung life. Wow, normal yung life! So, pero iba eh. I mean, iba pa rin yung feeling na nandun ka sa orgs or parang you're out there performing. Kasi galing ako ng theater nung high school. So, parang, pero sobrang iba kasi ako talaga, parang feeling ko may pagka jazz yung heart ko, parang gano'n. Pero hindi ako like technically like kagaya ng mga nag-steps talaga na may technique sila and all. Pero parang feeling ko yun yung parang performing side ko. So nung nag-college ako na hip-hop ganyan. As in like sobrang ang hirap like parang ilang beses ako napapagalitan kasi sobrang yung galaw ko, ibang-iba sa galaw nila. And like, pero doon ako nag-start. And then after ko graduate, doon ako nag-pursue ng hot legs as professional dancer. Then from there, yun, nag-show na and mga gigs, ganyan, racket. So, doon nag-start yung parang like work-wise in terms of dancing. Kasi syempre nung college, compete, tapos gig, pero like walang bayad, ganyan. Pero like nung college, after college talaga, like parang, ito yung gusto kong gawin for myself.
Wow,
so,
and you said, so theater was your first passion?
Yeah, theater. As in like parang feeling ko talaga, upstager ako. Hindi, joke. Pero like performing in general. Like either kung kakanta or like sasayaw or like acting. Parang I feel like parang gusto ko talaga mag-entertain ng other people. So yun yung path ko.
So was there a trigger for specifically for the dance team in your college, or was it was it because there wasn't like a theater program there that you didn't enroll? Like, why did you go to specifically dance?
Well, my course nung college is fashion design. So medyo parang inisip ko like sobrang, okay, I'm gonna be in fashion. I'm gonna be like going to Paris. Wow! I'm gonna walk to fashion week. Oo, mga ganyan. Pero like nung time na naisip ko na may nag-invite lang sa akin na friend na tara, let's audition for this dance crew. Every time kasi sasali ako sa dance crew, or like mag-audition ako, kahit hindi ako sure, parang sobrang confident ko, like, I can be, ganyan ako, always. Well, kahit naman sa TVC, kailangan like, benta mo sarili mo and confident ka sa sarili mo, ganyan.
Right.
Pero nung time na yon parang, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna pursue that org or something. Kasi parang, ang daming orgs eh. So, hindi ko alam, gusto ko try lahat. Pero like, naging parang, close na rin kami together ng mga people. So, parang, nakling na rin ako dun sa mga ganap dun. So like and parang coach kasi namin dun before si Coach Rocky. So parang sobrang parang tatay figure siya. And like sobrang hands-on siya sa pagtuturo before. So nung time na batch namin, as in sobrang parang, wow, ito talaga. Ito yung And like parang lahat ng batchmates ko now, as in sa dance community, sobrang sobrang nag-boom and like sobrang laki ng growth nila. Kaya proud din ako sa kanilang lahat.
That's nice.
Kahit like we started from like really nothing. Yan.
So you were really like, at the time you were really just tasting it, right? But you were trying it out.
Yeah.
And then the community was what held you, right? The community.
Yeah.
The community.
The community. The dance community.
Parang sponsored.
Well, actually, ang dami na ding dancers sa community. Yan.
Yeah. Cool. Jim, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into dance.
Thank you so much. Goodbye. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm introduced to dance from my mom, because my mom is the first batch of CCP Dance Company. So they were not yet called Bayanihan Dance Group before, or like Ballet Philippines. Yep. It's CCP Dance Company under Alice Reyes. So it's like folk dance / modern / ballet combined into one. Their warm up is ballet, and then their dance is modern dance, which is now known as Ballet Philippines. And then my mom's training is really from University of the East in folk dance, and then she started introducing dance to us when we were very young. The three of us siblings knows how to dance. But my sister went to professional ballet, Philippine Ballet Theater. But ako naman, trivia pa pala, even the best friend of Coleen, Sam Libao, the dad of Sam Libao is my mom's partner in dance. So,
Small world.
Small world, like, so now we're like working with mga anak of anaks ng mga dancers noon. So parang sige, sabihin ko ng legit air ba tawag doon? Mga legit na mga what they call this?
Mamamana. Ano ba yun?
Namana or like legit na mga anak ng dancer. Yun. Kasi diba like this is like from parents going down.
Yeah.
And then after that, when I was 5 years old, I started my first formal training with Halili Cruz School of Dance, Segway, which is now I'm teaching to them this quarantine.
Wow,
Yun
cool.
nga, yung Broadway dance. And then 5 to 12, and then I got bored. Sabi ko, ano ba yan, sumayaw. Kasi weird na, syempre, baby. So instead of going thin, I got fat. Siguro kain ako ng kain nun. So I stopped, and then I enrolled in singing in Center for Pop, and then I got bored again. In HD ako eh. And then I stopped. And then I enrolled in Trumpets Play Shop for acting. And then I got bored. And then suddenly, how to put them together in one sentence. Put a period. So yun, nagpumasok na ako sa musical chatter. Ayan. But after that, I paused ulit, and then went back to dancing, competing style naman, which is with Hataw, under Coach Arda. And then tapos and then my course in college was dance major. So nag-decide ako sa life ko, am I going dancing or am I going theater? Tapos nung nag-decide ako na go to theater, naloka naman ako, after ng theater, lahat na ng dancers nagpupuntahan na sa theater. Sabi ko, ba't pa ako umalis sa sayaw? Hindi sana pala tinuloy ko na lang, di ba? Para sama-sama tayo lahat. So bida-bida ako, nauuna lang ako sa mga tao. Ayaw makisabay. Parang, ayoko na dyan, muna na ako. Tapos mamaya sumusunod na sila. Di ba?
Wow, so your background was ano pala? Kasi when I met you, I thought you were street dance all the way. Yung pala, you were way.
I started
ang dami niyang ganap.
And then you jumped from formal dance training and then dancing in street and then exploring
and even studying dance.
Cool, man. What was the so what you mentioned in your specific case that your parents were dancers as well, right? And that sort of shaped your perspective. Was there ever did you feel any pressure in terms of having to continue the legacy as a dancer? Were they encouraging you to explore other things? What was that like growing up in a household of dancers?
No naman, it's funny because we had in the early 90s, just ko lalabas yung edad ko na to. In the early 90s, there's what we call this agencies where we send Filipino talents abroad in Japan technically. Padre, kickball change. So we send them, but the difference between that time, the dancers that we send in Japan have ARB. It's like aerobic something exam. So they really, parang syllabus, they really memorize ballet jazz combinations, and then Japanese people go here and then they take the exam. So they're graded for that. If you don't pass that, you cannot perform abroad.
Wow.
Not like now that okay, let's take workshop in you can just fly. Before there's like a certain group who checks people who wants to work abroad. Yeah. So meron kami nun sa what they call this sa family. We have two. Even my sister's mom has an agency, Artista Filipina. Our agency was Royal Orchid. So our house is full of costume, full of talents, everyday dancing. As para sa school. And then what you call this? Hindi naman siya naka-pressure because yung tingin ni mom, hindi kayo parang, kailangan next dancer. Kaya hindi Mas stage mom lang. Parang hindi ganyan, hindi ganito. Kasi parang sabi ko, okay, hirap sumayaw nito. Kasi may comments and suggestions. But wala siyang pressure kasi hindi mas ang forte kasi naman folk dance eh.
Right, okay.
So, hindi kami nagparehas ng style. So, parang, okay, chill lang. Basta nasa arts kayo, sumasayaw kayo, masaya sila.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I was like, oh man, I can't imagine parang growing up in a household where your parents were dancers, tapos everything parang is not gonna be up to their standards. But the great thing is you had different fields, parang different specialties. So parang hindi naman nila alam kung ano yung pinakamagaling, ano yung
Yeah, oo.
At saka naman in terms of dance is really upgrading every time. So hindi nila pwede compare yung panahon namin.
True. Ganito kami.
Or di kayo na. Diba?
Just listening to it, it'd be an interesting conversation just to hear you and your parents discuss dance, you know what I mean? Coleen, did you experience anything like that? I mean, do you come from a family of dancers or performers, or was that just innate?
Wala, ako lang kasi only child na ako. So parang, okay, go anak, go, gawin mo to, gawin mo yan, ganyan. Pero like super supportive naman nila with me.
That's awesome. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about is the world of TVCs, right? Because it's funny because I see Jim sometimes, like I'm like, oh, I know that guy, or I've seen Coleen in a couple of TVCs. I forget the names, pero parang I've seen you. Did you do one for Potato Corner? But did you
No, kamukha ko yun. Kamukha yun si Ate Bea.
Yeah, Bea Lasaka, right?
Yeah, Bea, I know she does.
Yeah.
Lagi kaming napag-ano eh.
I work also with her in one of my TVCs.
So, back when I was still studying in college, while I was dancing, I was getting a lot of opportunities to also try out TVCs. A lot of times, and sometimes it had nothing to do with like your skill set. Parang they were just like, okay, come here. We're gonna look at you, stand to the side, face the camera, things like that. So, can you talk a little bit about like what the preparation was for you guys, or what sparked the interest to try, the TVC industry, and maybe you can touch a little bit about what your experiences were and maybe some learnings that you had. I know that's a lot to unpack, but you can start with how you got into it. So, Coleen, maybe you can start with that.
Well, newbie here again. Kasi Jim, ang dami kasi ni Jim.
Actually, yung stream na to, new and old.
Oo, parang pinapasa na ni Jim yung niya sa akin. Pero like, nag-start talaga ako, like after college na talaga. Kasi, I mean, parang nung sa Hot Legs na kailangan ng mga dancers, ganyan. So, dun ako nag-start with mga dancing TVCs pa.
Yeah.
So, mga kailangan ng mga dancers. Then, eventually, parang nalaman nila na parang, nag-acting rin pala to, and parang, ang dami rin palang character na kaya, ganyan. So, like, napupunta na rin, parang pinag-audition na din nila ako sa mga lead roles. And things na ginagawa ko to prepare is I always, read yung description kung ano yung kailangan. Kasi parang kung kailangan pala funny girl, tapos parang yung character ko, ay parang iiyak-iyak pala, diba? So, kailangan alam ko yung kung anong character. And sobrang important din as a fashion design. Wow!
Yeah.
Important din yung clothes. Like, super important yung para makilala nila yung character mo. Kasi, kapag kunwari, artistic ka, alam nga na magsuot ka ng tanga dyan, di ba? Joke. So, I mean, kailangan in character ka all the way. Tapos, ayun, like, sa mga, kasi konti na lang din yung nakukuha ko mga dance. Pero usually, yung mga dance, yun na yung parang with celeb or with alone lang na character yan.
But how do you...
And then
go ahead.
And then from there, dun talaga nag-start nung after college na. And then tuloy-tuloy na siya. And I'm so blessed rin na kahit ngayong pandemic, meron pa rin mga dumadating na mga opportunities, ganyan. And like mga TVCs. And super easy na now. Kasi like, okay, magpasa kayo ng VTR. Online na lang. Like, online mo na lang, VTR mo na lang sarili mo. Unlike before na parang papila ka talaga as in from, tas may time pa. Like, yung time parang 4 to 6 lang. Tas usually, hindi ako maabot. Last year, yun yung year na sobrang parang pinursu ko talaga siya, yung TVC. Kahit ang lapit ko lang kasi sa Makati. So, parang lahat, pinupuntahan ko siya. And nung mga era na racket season, like ngayon, December, last year, as in parang mga limang angkas ako sa isang araw para lang puntahan yung mga TVCs and mga racket na mga shows, ganyan. I mean, like parang inisip ko na lang na sayang eh. If pinuntahan ko, edi okay. Kung hindi, parang sayang rin pag hindi pinuntahan eh. Ang lapit lang naman. So, I mean, for me, TVC talaga, parang hit or miss, anong tawag yun? Parang make it or leave it, ganun. So, kailangan mo talaga siyang bigyan ng tsagain. Yeah, true.
Yeah. And so, like you said, there's a big benefit now to the situation we're in because it allows you to maximize your time more, you know?
Yeah.
So, Jim, talk a little bit about your experience as well and how you got into it.
Before I talk about, I have a BTR. Hi, I'm Jim Ferrer. Blank age, 5'6", turn to your right, face to your left, smile. Turn to the left, face to your right, smile. So that's how you do VTRs. And yes, acting. Yes. All of the emotions as possible, like even the crazy emotions. Yes. Happy. Yes. Super happy. Yes.
Well, okay. Sorry. I-add
go ahead.
Wait, nung before, as in nung starting ako ng TVCs, yung sa mga happy na yan, sobrang intimidated ako kasi like yung mga kasama ko talaga, mga model, ganyan. Tapos parang, alam mo yun yung antatangka, din ang papayat, ganyan. Sobrang nakaka-intimidate. Pero parang na-realize ko na, character yung hinahanap eh. So, doon ka talaga magkaka-chance. Kasi like parang, sila parang happy. Tapos parang ako, happy girl, happy na. Hindi ka ba masaya?
Wake up, happy.
Wait. Jim, what does VTR stand for people who...
I forgot. I already introduced that. Video, something, recording, something like that. I don't know. Coleen, can you search it in? Do you have other device there? It's there.
Ito na.
It's in a VTR. So we'll get back to Coleen. So I was discovered in a restaurant that I cannot, in a fast food that I cannot announce because I just shot yesterday for a fast food. Nakalaban nun. So I can't announce that. So I was eating with a good friend of mine, and then there's this person. Normally the person is like talent scout or agent. They look around and then they ask people. They give calling cards. Before it was calling cards, now it's cell phone number. And then he tapped me and said, "Is that your real hair? Yes. Are you interested in commercial?" Sabi ko, it's okay. Okay, go to this blah 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 blah, and then I didn't really English na naman ako. I didn't really what do you call this? Got interested at it, but during that time there was no work coming in, like no teaching, no shows. So I got bored one day. Sabi ko, sige, try natin. Baka naman. Okay. So I went to that place in San Juan. It's one of the weirdest VTR place. It's just a small room. And then, after I did my VTR, there's final casting. And then the shoot happened. That was my first commercial na. Which was Cornetto. There you go.
And that exposed you to, like, basically, by going to that first shoot, it kind of opened up the other connections.
Yes. And also, like what Coleen said, you need to know which one you go to because classified kami ni Coleen as characters. So yung sabi niya kanina, there are models who just go to VTR just because they want to be beautiful. Sorry for the other models. But you need to know, like, if you read the requirements, you need to really know it because during the time, it's a waste of time if you fall in line for you. Yeah. And it's a waste of time for the others who are qualified for that VTR.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to kind of expand on that, I mean, in terms, because what's interesting to me is that you guys are getting jobs for TVCs. Is it necessary? But I know some people who perhaps have agents who kind of connect to different people, or is that something that you guys have to do, or you're able to just freelance it and do it on your own?
It's easier if you have an agent in the Philippines because they do all the paperworks. And they're the one.
Exactly.
Parang sila yung sa pyramid, sila yung tinetext muna ng because this is the frame of TVC. Client, production company, agency, and then talent. So we're in the bottom, and then maybe talent or suppliers because syempre si agent they pay for the suppliers, the talent managers they pay for the talents. It's a really, really long process because it's a like up and down process.
Right.
Okay. They say the requirements, it goes down, it goes down, it goes down. You submit the requirement, it goes up and it goes down. Approval, it's like waiting for approval. It's always up and down and up and down. That's why it's nice to have an agent because some agents are trusted by the clients and the companies already.
Wow.
They fight for you. It's like you have your lawyers in commercials and stuff. Also, in the Philippines, it's different because here, even if you have agencies, you still work. So it's kind of balanced. But if you go abroad, like when I went to abroad, it's all the agents' work. The talent just wait for the call.
Wow.
You submit one time, your picture, your profile, your video, and that's it.
Yep.
And then you just wait for the final answer.
But you have to reach out. Do you have to manually look for these agencies that you want to join, or because of your gigs, they reach out?
Well, merong ganon.
It's vice versa. Sometimes they see you. Sometimes you need to go to them. Yeah. Some artists like if you know someone like kunwari, Coleen, I know
refer ganon.
Referral. Coleen, can you go to this place? Because good agency yan. And you go to the trusted ones because there are a lot of fly-by-night agencies. So be careful with that also.
Right. You know, I think what's interesting from both of your perspectives is that you were dancers, you joined into TVC, and I think you have a great insight in being sort of in both worlds. Like you've had the experience of doing a dance gig, and you've also had the experience of doing a TVC gig. So what I would like to ask is, especially for, let's say, another dancer who's in a similar position, how are you guys sort of filtering the jobs that you're going to take, whether it is a dance gig or a TVC gig, right? So let's set aside like the obviously like time scheduling and monitoring and things like that, but just how different is the effort that you have to put forth for a TVC gig and then in relation to a dance gig, and how much does that affect your decision? Maybe we'll go with Coleen first on this one.
Jimmy ko muna.
Gusto mo si Jim muna? Para iba?
Sige, pwede naman.
Si Jim.
Nahilo ako.
Okay, si Jim.
Well, for me, decision, like, I've always tell this to my students and everyone who knows me, and even in Bawal Judgmental, that my motto in life is anytime, basta may time. Okay?
Yeah, true. Well,
so if you, especially dancers, if we're like freelance dancers, I remember before with your crew, Maya, with the crew, I even do gigs with the crew, even if I'm a dance major in the morning. So I go in the evening. I don't even train with you guys. I just like learn the dance and dance with us like that. Yeah. So as long as I can fit it, it's fine. And as long as I'm young, let's do it. Because sayang yung time. I mean, lalo na ngayon, like this year, you've missed a lot of opportunities, diba? Yeah. It's all online. We try to be creative. We try to adapt. But there's only a limit. It will have a limit also. That's why kung kayang gawin natin.
True.
Like even Coleen and I had this project with our last show. We did an online stream. Talagang sayaw tayo sa screen. Bahala na, edit na lang to. And it pushes you to your next limits to be creative and to be talagang technologically knowledgeable to do stuff. In terms of my decision making, in theater, we're taught to be, if you said yes. But there's a big but. Sometimes we need to meet center also. Because what if you're gonna pay for $1 million na ano? $1 million? Social. Kasi Amerikano to. ₱1 million commercial, tapos meron kang racket na 5,000. Siyempre, you make your ways. But as long as you don't step on someone, or like you make you make your conscience clear and you make your contract clear, you don't step on anything. Like for example, you can find understudies. If really like before pa lang nakita niya ng tatama yung schedule, look for understudies. That's how I make my decision. And that's different also with theater, kasi theater talaga you need to say yes all the time. That's why TVC, if you do theater, TVC is out. In dance, if it's start of training, it's fine for me. Sorry, dance world, dance community, don't judge me. We're in the Philippines, we're a third world country. We need money is money, work is work.
True.
But if it's rehearsal week, as much as possible, don't accept any work. Yeah, because if commercials naman kasi they will say the sked, and if talagang tumama siya, try to avoid it na.
Yeah, true. Actually talaga.
But go ahead. Sorry. Let me just jump on. May mention kasi si Jimmy that I was really interested in, which is you mentioned parang may understudy ka. Now I understand an understudy from like a concert perspective. That person's gonna study your stuff. Tapos you get help from them to learn it.
Yeah.
In the context of a gig, what does that look like? Parang is he learning for you like in place? Tapos you give him a share. What does that look like for?
Yes, that's how. Because because I learned that thing in theater. You have an understudy. Technically, it's understudy is you do shows. You do both of it. So like, for example, your dance gig is 2 days. You do 1 day and you do the other day. So you give him because he's understudy. But you hire pala, you hire or you talk
You look
to
for a
someone.
person.
You look for a person. It's called a swing. A swing is he or she rehearses for it, but doesn't know if he will have a show.
Yeah,
But he gets paid for it.
He still gets paid.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so interesting. I have never there's never been a time in my life na may dance gig ako.
That's why
meron.
so even in ballet in New York, you can see in the program US means understudy, U/S understudy, and then some are swing. Swing are getting paid higher than the understudy. Because if you're an understudy, you have a sure show. Like for example, if you're a week dancing, for the week dancing, your show is Saturday, Sunday. You have a sure show. But if you're a swing, okay, I'm sick. The next actor, okay, I'm sick. The next dancer is swing. I'm sick. Go. The swing.
Siya talaga.
Is this something that you apply? Do you have to be aware of where you're applying this, like in the type of gig that you are or that you're in? So for example, because sometimes people will hire you as a dance team. So I don't know if this is applicable only to like your theater gigs or your TVC gigs. Or are you saying that you're able to do this as an individual when you sign on for a dance gig?
I tried already doing it in a dance gig. I hired a swing for me. Like, can you learn my track and teach it to me later? Because I have a shoot.
and that's just a personal setup. Like it's nothing that
Yes, but you need to talk. You need to talk to the whole artistic team because you can't just there's someone going for me today, because that's respect also if they're rehearsing, and then it's better to have a swing rather than you're missing because you know, diba? Rather than who I'm gonna place here, diba? Like
so you have to clarify in the beginning that they're aware, but, like when you accept it, you might be
going back to the factors of the decision. It's a plus and minus. There's money, time, project, script, dance, choreographer, who am I gonna work to? There's a lot of stuff going around. Because, di ba, paano kung si Michael Jackson magturo na sa'yo? Kahit di ako bayaran dyan, pupunta ako dun, di ba?
Yeah,
there's always like that also,
Wow. Okay. So there's a lot, there's a benefit to you going first in terms of answering this. Ang dami natin insight. So maybe Coleen, you can share a little bit of, the question was, when you're comparing how to sort of decide between these different, whether it's a dance gig or TVC gig, how do you prioritize?
Well, kagaya na sinabi ni Jim kanina, like, yung kailangan talaga balance eh. And kunwari kapag sinabi na ito yung target shoot date and target, like, pag sinabi agad, parang kasi ako professional dancer din talaga ako ngayon. So, may mga gigs na matatamaan. And like, parang from there, parang sinasabi ko na agad, nagpapaalam na agad ako. And like, parang alam naman nila because it's a TVC talaga, and what if lead role ka pa, di ba? And ayun, parang kailangan lang din talaga ng time management, and like parang alam mo kung anong gusto mo talaga yung prioritize. Pero like, yun nga, ang hirap kasi as an art student, joke, lahat art student. I mean, depende kasi gusto mong gawin lahat, parang medyo FOMO siya, na parang, minus ko yung gig na yun, parang kung pwede lang hatiin yung katawan ko, gagawin ko, parang ganun. Sana may doppelganger ako na gagawa din for me. And yun yung sinasabi ni Jim na kailangan kong maghanap ng kaswap agad if meron conflict sa schedule. And kagaya nung Joseph the Dreamer, as in pinaalam ko na agad na meron kaming mga rehearsal, ganyan. And buti naman, like gabi yung rehearsals. So, usually, kapag may mga racket pa, morning, at least pwede pang gawa ng paraan. And like, yun, ako din talaga, like very FOMO ako sa mga gigs. Parang kung kaya kong gagawin ko, ganyan. And sa in terms of TVC naman, yung motto ko, parang, at least nag-submit ako, ganun. At least ginawa ko. Kasi if kung hindi ako nag-submit, parang sayang yung opportunity. Pero kung nag-submit ako at hindi ako nakuha, at least nag-submit ako.
Or like if you submit it and then you saw the final product, sabi mo, mas bagay ako dyan eh. Baka gawin ka.
Exactly.
But disclaimer for the televiewers, for the Zoomers there, don't be abusive naman. It happens lang like once in a twice. That's like a worst case scenario because of our situation now. Okay, because the time and before kasi you can during Maya's and me time, kadiri yung Maya's and me time. During our time, I can do 3 gigs a day.
Yeah.
Because there's no traffic, you can use MRT without people. But now, wala na angkas. Baha pa. So, everything is, kumbaga, as humans, we adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
And also, our motto in life, as dancers also, ang dami nating motto. Ano ba itong stock na to? Puro motto. Diba? As long as it pays the bills.
Yeah.
As long as it pays the bills, let's go.
That's awesome, man. So basically, what we're seeing here is that, from the perspective of somebody who's done both dance gigs and TVC gigs, it's really just a matter of fitting it into your schedule, and there's not necessarily like an upside or a downside. And the reason I ask is because, sometimes I prioritize, for me personally, when I've done some TVC gigs before, I know that with a dance gig, there's a certain time that I'm required to be there. I get to my performance, I'm done, and the commitment that it requires from me isn't that much. There are times where I've done like a TVC gig, and especially if it's like, let's say, in the industry at the time, you could be there for like hours, not knowing when you're going to get called to do your thing. Yeah. So that's really where my questioning was sort of coming from, in terms of how do you anticipate and prioritize that. But I think you guys really nailed it down there, which is, you sort of navigate as you go. And then in the specific instance, which I think was great and really new for me, which is like, you get an understudy, right? Or a swing, right? Who can sort of do that for you. That's cool. A lot of cool information there. So,
kumbaga, to make it short, be your own manager. Manage your life.
Yeah, true.
That's it.
Nice.
Pero, be your own manager, pero humanap kayo ng agency.
Kasi it's hard also if you
eh.
manage yourself, you need to get receipt, you need to you need to work, you need to technically work your own.
Well, so what you're saying though, then it's actually really different in the sense that when you're doing these TVCs, there's more paperwork involved, and when you do a dance gig, parang may shell out lang na your cut.
Kaliwaan.
True.
Pay after.
Parang nag-expect pag dance gig, parang expected na sana pay after, ganun. Pero like sa TVC kasi ang dami pa talagang dadaanan yan.
Layers and layers.
Wow, interesting. That's awesome. So let's jump a little bit to from TVCs. Obviously, you guys, see Jim, I've known mainly through theater, and that's how I know you in terms of like your specialty now. And see Coleen, actually just recently when I saw you, you made that jump to theater. So actually this is perfect kasi parang we'll start with you, Coleen, and then maybe Jim you can fill in. But so my question sort of is, how do you make the jump from being a dancer to going into theater? Is there anything that they're looking for from you na, like if you've never been in a theater production before, they're going to say no? Or is it ultimately just up to the skills that you have at the audition? Maybe you can talk a little bit about your experience from transitioning as a dancer to theater.
Well, a lot of my friends know me as naman talaga, like theater nung high school, grade school, high school. Pero like professionally talking, parang ibang level din talaga yung like makita mo yung mga kilala mo ng tao sa industry ng theater. And like nung time talaga na yun, parang sabi ko, try ko lang talaga. As in like parang, why not? I mean, wala namang mawawala, di ba? Laging ganun eh. So, pero nung nag-audition talaga ako, parang hindi ko ina-expect na makukuha pa ako because sobrang late na ako nag-audition. Like, pang 200 plus na ako nag-audition. And galing pa ako ng rehearsals noon. And parang sinabi ko lang na, okay, mag-BGC rin naman ako, so might as well, try ko na din talaga. And then, from there, parang hindi ko lang talaga ina-expect na magiging part ako. Pero like, I'm so blessed na naging, parang napakita ko yung, pero I'm not really, parang, oh my God, sobrang dami kasing tao. Like, parang, alam niyo yung chills talaga pag audition, and then ibang level siya sa TVC na alam mo na yung mangyayari, like, alam mo yung character mo, alam mo yung gagawin mo. Pero dun talaga, so like, alam mo, lahat sila nagbo-vocalize siya, tapos parang ako, ginagawa ko dito. Like, parang, okay, dancer naman yung kailangan, hip-hop dancer. So, parang, sige, try natin. Pero, yun, I mean, like, nung nag-transition talaga ako with dancing to professional theater, sobrang parang like, JTD talaga yung parang turning point ko in life na yun. Well, turning point, lead me along the path. So, I mean, like, kasi, hindi, I mean, like, ang dami nag-open opportunities and, like, yung mga connections and, like, parang, and like, hindi lang like connections, like friends talaga. So parang nakakatawa din talaga. And like parang nagiging small na yung world. Like with Kumu, like lahat ng mga taong nandun, usually mga theater people. So parang akala mo like parang nangangapit bahay ka lang na, oh yeah, ganyan. And then parang they know me as like Coleen na bubbly. So parang nakakatawa. Like parang iba talaga yung level ng dance community at saka ng theater. Pero parang in general, parang sobrang like parehas sila ng entertainment, ganyan. So, yun lang. As in like parang nakakatawa na nandun ka sa both world.
Yeah, I like what you said in terms of when you go there, sometimes, again, it's like it's a different feeling when you're auditioning with so many people. So I actually wanted to expand on that. Like when you're going into a theater, let's say audition, right? Because with TVC, you're auditioning for the part. So when you go into theater, do you have an idea of what you're going for? Do you go in there and say, okay, I'm a dancer, so I'm not going to audition for that part, and this is what I'm here for, which is just my dance, so please judge me on that? Or is it just like an open forum where they say, okay, bring everybody here, they're going to take you through everything, dance, singing, and acting, and then they'll just decide from there where to fit you? How does it work?
Well, yung sa amin, parang nakalagay na talaga siya sa poster na you need song, and then parang 1-minute dance. So parang like, merong iba, di ba, Jim, na audition na kailangan merong mga parang, may mga beat and something na parang, na ganyan. And then, iba talaga siya with dance. With dance na parang, okay, sayaw ka lang. Pero
kumbaga, what Coleen is saying, when you're auditioning for a musical, it's more technical.
Yeah,
because they're looking for people who can do a certain role, and then if you want to do the role, before you don't have a choice. If you audition for that show, whatever role they give you, that's the thing you need to do. But now there's a blank na parang, what role are you auditioning for? You can say na I want to audition for this role, this role, and then tatanungin ka, are you open to be an ensemble? Kasi some people doesn't want to do chorus work. So okay, I just want to be the lead. Di be the lead forever. Why not, di ba?
And usually beforehand, binibigyan ng script, di ba, Jim? Para aralin. Yung mga songs and music, yan.
And the most, going back to kanina, it's supposed to be balanced. Like what's nice about Coleen, even if she started in theater recently lang, her confidence level is high with additional level of she invested in her technique or talent. Because everybody has talent. But the skill set of owning that, grabe yung English ko ngayon. The skill set of owning that talent, of nurturing that talent is different. Okay, I may be a dancer, but pwedeng hindi ako marunong pumake-up, hindi ako marunong mag-iikot, pero maganda ako tingnan sa sumayaw. Maka 10 years ako. So si Coleen, maganda yun. Nung nag-audition siya, may talent siya, may confidence. So ganun. Because some people, overconfident naman, wala naman talent. Okay? O sabihin natin, may talent pero walang skill. Diba? Basta makagalaw lang. Okay? Dance is dance. Diba? Oh, go. Say excited kwento.
Excited kwento. Kasi ganyan ako nung steps audition.
Diba? Confidence.
As in, like, fake it till you make it.
Yes,
like,
that's what
wala akong talent. I mean, like, legit, hindi ko alam kung paano, like, ballet and, like, parang posture, ganyan. Pero parang sa sarili ko, kaya nga ako nandito kasi gusto kong matuto, di ba? I mean, like, yun lang yung nasa isip ko. Pero, like, sobrang intimidating ng lahat. Pero parang naisip ko na lang, years and years na sila nag-training eh. And, like, parang, yun nga, fake it till you make it. Yung parang, okay, sige, basta kita nila na dedicated ako sa gusto kong mangyari. Pero, I mean, like, sobrang iba talaga yung summer workshop na yun. Parang,
yeah, can I just say, kasi parang I have some personal experiences with this and I remember seeing you and si Anna sa class ko. And super game, I remember like super excited, right? Tapos as soon as it got to like certain sequences in the choreography, I remember you're like, I'm gonna do my best. As in like, super talaga na I admired your perseverance. I can't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but was there a segment ba na parang I remember blocking you guys and then biglang, ikaw lang, was it you or si Anna yung nawala bigla during that?
Si Anna yung nawala.
Si Anna yung nawala. Kasi alala ko, I blocked you guys as compliments and then like, it just so happened na run after run, ikaw lang yung ko. And I didn't realize until like the very end na parang, bakit hindi pa itong blocking ko? And apparently you said that, Coach, I've been here the entire time, si Anna yung nawala. Bigla.
Hindi, kasi si Ana kasi like jazz talaga siya. And like street dance, parang, as in, ako din, like with my ano na ngayon, na very, parang tinatry ko ngang i-balance yung parang pagka-ballet, parang pagka-jazzer ko, ganyan. And then biglang, naninigas na lang kami ni Ana. Oh my God, ang ginagawa. Pero like parang, basta, attitude,
Yeah.
Pero like, sabi namin, oh my God, ang tagal nun natin, hindi ganito yung sayaw natin. Sobrang ano.
No,
Pero
but
oh my God, good times.
I appreciate the effort that you guys,
Diba?
you know, I remember watching them, then I gave them like, because they were really like performers So kahit parang the movements were new to them, may solo na sila.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Na sila.
Yeah.
And also going back to the transition, the hardest part of transitioning in whatever we do is auditions.
Yeah.
Because dance and theater and TVC is technically an art, even if people don't think it is a work or something. It's an art.
Yeah.
Art is work. Wow.
Artwork.
Based from
artwork.
Based from my profile, art is work. I mean, visual siya eh. So people judge you from auditions pa lang.
Yeah.
So and yun nga, even if sabi ni Coleen, I'm not a technical dancer, you can see as a judge, alam natin, nag-judge tayo ng mga competitions, kung ang line mo is for jazz, ang line mo is for hip-hop. But if you can try to fake it till you make it to another style, that's a good thing. And even the classes that we did with Teacher Maya and the whole Step Summer, it's just an audition for the final exam of the recital.
Yeah.
Because technically, Coleen, if you're not aware, the whole summer is an audition for you to be offered for the whole year scholarship.
Yeah. Actually.
Are you offered?
Pero,
are you offered, diba? You were offered, diba?
Pero
that's fine.
Ko, like, parang, oo.
How's the gig? But, diba, yung mga
gig. Ko na yun eh. Kasi nung summer, yung summer kasi, like, parang, kasi syempre pinaalam namin yun and stuff. Like, parang, yun din yun eh, dance community, dance, professional dancing, and like, parang workshop. So, medyo magkaka-clash yun kasi, parang parehas sila ng thing. So, yun nga, kailangan lang din talaga ng balance. And like, parang, nisip lang din namin na parang, it's for our own growth din naman.
Yeah.
So, but that helped you, that helped you transition to theater. Kasi, di ba,
yeah,
from there,
actually,
magkakilala na tayo, and then, ano talaga siya, plus connections. And mind you, a lot of people in dance community are transitioning to commercials.
Yeah.
I know 3 people. I was like, you're just dancing before and now you have TVC na. Okay.
You're taking my jobs.
Meron nga kaming group chat eh. As in, okay, sino pa yung mga dancers dito? Tapos parang ako, like, parang sinasabi ko dun sa agent ko, parang pwede ba ako dyan? Tapos sabi niya, nak, pang-lead ka na, wag ka na dyan. Sabi ko, di ba pwedeng kasi pay after eh. baka naman pwede ako kung cameo lang.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, so just to kind of, parang, we were talking a little about theater, and you guys have some great insights. What I want to ask is this, and this first question I'd say probably would be geared towards Jim Muna, and then the second question is something maybe you guys can both share insights on, which is, so Jim, is that for somebody who's been doing theater so long, is the theater scene in terms of how many opportunities you have, is it different now than it was before? Just specifically speaking off of like nowadays, let's talk in the context of pre-COVID, right? But like we were seeing a lot of like, performance, staging and plays and after plays and things like that, as compared to when I wasn't into it before, but like it just wasn't as mainstream to me. Maybe perhaps it was always there, I just didn't know it, but maybe that's something you can explain, is if the scene is different in that sense in terms of opportunity. And then the second thing is, once we're sort of in that context, how do you pick and choose which plays or which shows you're going to sign up for?
Okay. Pre-COVID and plays. Sinusulat ko.
Yeah.
Ang bilis ng English ni But anyway, pre-COVID, if before the arts industry is really, really divided. Okay? Because firstly, it's different per country. And then second, we don't have that equity. Equity is a group of people in other countries that holds protection for us artists. Okay? Imagine mo if you're hired. So for example, I hired Maya to do a show. Lahat yon from the time you left your house you're protected by the rights already.
Wow.
You are paid your fare
Mhm.
until you end the contract, until you go back to your house. That's how equity goes. And the hours of rehearsals in Philippines, in abroad is strict. 9 to 3 is 9 to 3. If you extend, you get paid additional, or if they don't tell you're extending, they can sue you. But there's a different thing pa din in the Philippines na the Philippines, if we need to extend hours and if you don't want to participate, they will tell you wala kang pakikisama, or you're unprofessional, or the next time they're gonna do it, you're not gonna be hired. But that's not the thing.
Yeah.
So in terms of pre-COVID, arts is divided before, but it was so blooming before pre-COVID. As in, if you see the lineup, there's already, before, you don't know what shows to watch because there's no shows to watch. Like tatlo, apat lang ongoing. Now you can even I can even say Philippines is the Asian, ano ba tayo? South end, west, southeast end of Broadway.
Southeast.
Parang west end, Broadway, and then southeast end. Southeast end. Ano yun? Basta we can say like Philippines is the parang number one producing company of theater shows locally and internationally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if you go to Korea, because
True.
of their budget and culture, you need to translate all materials in Korean and also in Japanese. So you can say they're like English, but Filipinos, because of the language, you can change, you can Filipinize, you can English. And also during pre-COVID, as in sobrang dami, we can even have 2 pages brochure of theater, dance, performances, artworks, museum. Para na tayo museum. But because we don't have that strip of like Broadway strip or Western strip, it's hard because, alam mo yun, we need to, you need to go to BGC, we need to go to CCP, ang lalayo ng lugar natin.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. But before pre-COVID, it was so nice. Now, during this pandemic, everyone's bleeding. Everyone's trying out, some people are trying out, because you need to build yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and skill-wise to learn other crafts. And then they appreciate it more because of technology. They can watch videos, they can watch, attend free workshops.
Online shows na.
Everything's online. But the hardest thing about now is the audience. Because you don't know if you go, di ba nga, like I told kanina, kung bumalik tayo sa normal, yung totoong normal, will they still appreciate? Kasi naman, will they still na appreciate pa? Will they still appreciate live performance? That's the problem. Because, di ba, parang ngayon nga lang, and now there's no basis of everyone can be a teacher. As long as you have Zoom. Parang, so, there's a problem with agawan of jobs then, di ba? And then everyone can perform. The talent pool went broader, lumaki siya because kalaban mo yung buong mundo eh. Even mga if you have commercials na shoot from home, pwede ka mag-shoot even if you're in America eh, di ba? Or in another country. But yun nga, yung mga nagpagod for the talent or for the art form before pre-COVID, sila yung nahihirapan ngayon kasi ang kalaban niyo technically it's not the technique, it's not the what do you call this, the presentation, but ang kalaban niyo yun is yung mga dapat yung mga kakilala mo, they will follow you. Parang kasi yung sabi natin yung estudyante ni Maya, kilala ko yung estudyante ni Maya, sila yung problem, sino pipiliin nila? Diba? And there's only limit also because of the restriction of job also, may kinalaman din ng money sa art talaga. Kasi nga, it's a work. Show true. Business. Without business, walang show. Diba? So,
let me sorry. Let me because I think this is a great topic in terms of like how theater is adjusting in this sort of new normal. And actually, this is honestly something I want us to keep going more in depth. Maybe what I want to sort of, I said it could also be with the way I framed the question, which is I kind of want to dive in a little bit to like the history of theater, right, in the Philippine scene. because I think from what I'm hearing now, we're looking at pre-COVID theater opportunities, right? And then what's happening now in terms of theater opportunities. What I'm wondering is like, how different is the pre-COVID theater scene in relation to the theater scene in the past? And this is to give you more specificity. This is what I mean. But I heard before, like the theater community wasn't that big. Like, parang it was maybe a few kind of people, and then they eventually they grew in their careers, and then they went ahead and built up these little like different companies, and that's what sort of spawned like a new sort of generation of shows. And so what I want to ask is in relation to that, is that true? Maybe you could shed some light in terms of how that sort of came about. This is for Jim, obviously.
Ako ba? Yeah, I think
wala pa ako dun.
Yeah, wala pa. I think some of it are true. True. Ito naman. I know there's a big group of theater friends before who went on their own. Yeah. But they didn't fight. They just don't believe in. Kumbaga, if you have a dance school, you have your mission vision.
Yeah.
Or like if you have your dance school, you have your technique priorities. If you priority in ballet, priority in hip hop. That's how theater went there before. Some yung friends na yon parang gumawa ng company because they wanted to put on a theater company that's based on religion works, based on musicals, based on Filipino musicals, based on Filipino play, based on English play. So iba-iba siya.
Yeah.
And then some of it, I know some friends did that. Like they made their own companies. Pero di ba, like at the end of the day, kayo pero makikita sa dulo kasi you borrow from each other. I'll use you like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool because it's just I see so many like parallels into sort of how the dance community has also grown at. You know, you had a lot of these like, let's say, coaches and teams who previously it was a much more smaller knit group of people who were dancing together and things like that, and it sort of grew this way. And when I look at the theater parang community, I'm like, wow, that must be like sort of similar to what happened when these guys got older and sort of dived into that. So that's awesome to hear it. So what I want to ask is this, and just to kind of jump off of this, and I'll pose this to you, Coleen, which is now how like with the opportunities you had. Wait. So sorry, Joseph the Dreamer was your first.
Yeah,
is that right?
Professional theater. Yes.
Okay, so what were you sort of what about that specific play was just like, okay, out of all the opportunities that are available in terms of theater, right, this is the one I'm gonna go for?
Well, I just saw the poster. Parang si Coach Mix yun nag-post. Parang hip-hop dancers, ganyan. And then I was thinking na parang, why not? Because nag-theater ako before, like sa school. And then parang hip-hop, nag-try out naman ako ng hip-hop nung college. And then parang, I mean, gusto ko rin ma-expose in the singing part of theater. So parang, doon ko na realize na parang I wanna try out. And then parang Joseph the Dreamer kasi nung high school nag-play din kami ng ganun pero in Tagalog. So parang medyo close siya sa akin. So parang from there parang nisip ko talaga na I wanted to pursue the theater. Parang ito talaga yung turning point for me. So I just went for it.
Nice. So in your case, it's really like the content of it and the idea of trying something new, right? Na parang it's something you can relate with. And so I think this is where what's going to be great in terms of, you know, Jim, you can give your feedback on this. And I think you were touching a little bit on it earlier, which is obviously maybe in the theater community, different productions handle things very differently, right? And you touched a little bit on it. Maybe we can expand in terms of like how the work standards are. I forgot who I was speaking to, but we were talking about also like the different types of like sometimes there are some theaters that some plays that choose like this quote unquote jukebox thing that I'd never heard of. Parang, oh, that's a jukebox thing. And then there are other plays that are trying to do something different, right? So maybe you can speak a little bit about when you're going through it, what things to sort of consider in terms of the work standards, in terms of the quality of creativity. You can even dive a little bit into like the direction, or do you consider like the cast that you're with? Maybe I know that's a lot, but maybe you can shed some light, and it'd be great to hear your insight.
Yeah, like what you asked kanina na parang how do you choose your, diba, that's how do you choose your shows? I choose basically if the company I've worked with them before. Like, you're not gonna be going to a company. Well, you can try for a first time, but if they made a boo boo, don't go back to them anymore. So there are companies like really like bad. I'm not saying bad like ugali wise, but bad in terms of taking care of people,
Oh, yeah.
taking care of the production. Because if you're doing a production, it's like your baby. It's like your baby. You need to take care of it. So those the companies that I usually audition for or go to is the companies that I don't wanna say names, but the companies that I trust and that believes in my talent or my skill and respects your time. That's how I choose if I go to that and then some companies pay high, some companies pay low. But the difference is I have this commitment in my life that if you're gonna do a show in a year, kahit ilang pa yan, basta as long as one is for money and then one is for art. But so sometimes the one for the money is crappy shows. Talagang like you need to just suck on your what you call this. Lunok ka na lang parang sige gawin natin to. But some low-income companies I go to also low-paying companies I go to because of the material itself. Because it's so nice, you grow as an artist, you learn from it. You can going to the direction also. It's more you create your own world that you need to share to the people of course, to the audience. Yes, and then what's your ano ulit kanina?
Wait, I'll expand off that last let me expand on one of your your insights there. So you said there are the artistic sort of shows, and then you've got like your moneymaker shows. How does the audience, like the market, actually respond to that? I mean, does it correlate? Now the money making shows really has a lot of people attending, and the artistic shows, parang it's not so much. Is that really the truth there?
It depends because it will boil down to marketing and producers also.
Okay.
Because artists will just be doing the show and will make it, and then if you're an artist, if you believe in the show, even if it's crappy, it will work. I've seen shows that talagang. But because the artists are committed, like
true.
Fairness, may potential. Going also the competition, because not only in dancing there's competition, in theater also.
True.
not judging with medals. Congratulations, we have a medal, but it's really really a big factor now. The jukebox musicals.
Yes,
because Filipinos have this thing that jukebox musical for the viewers is musicals that use the ready-made music of a band or a group or a singer, and it's not only original in the Philippines. For example, El Bimbo, Apo. It's also been used in abroad na, like Gloria Estefan, Michael Jackson. There's a Michael Jackson the musical. There's Whitney Houston the musical. Tina Turner even is now nominated for a very very good musical. So those musicals are a competition because people likes to hear music that they already know. If you're doing an original, they were like, I don't know the song. That's the number one thing. Do I know the song? that's and then it's hard because yun yung mga musicals sa talagang pinupuntahan ng mga tao. And minsan, yun pa yung mga musicals na hindi gano'ng kaganda yung rates. Pero because of the material, they can prolong the show. Kumbaga parang if I can pay you 100K now, but if I do that show, kumbaga we call this in dance and theater baratan. Dahil sikat yung show, let's divide that 100K to 100 days. So you get 1,000 a day lang for that show. Diba?
Wow. And when you mentioned so jukebox, and you basically take a soundtrack, right, and sort of recreate that here. What are the liberties that you can take as a production here, and what can you not?
Of course, you need to make permission first to the owners of the music.
Okay.
Yeah. And the liberties of it is really, 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 really big because the music is already ready. You can arrange it and you can make different storylines. It's how the writer sometimes being so creative, even out of this world, going to outer space just to connect the music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Oo.
Colleen's first musical is a jukebox, first professional musical. It's a jukebox musical.
Yeah,
Joseph the
oo.
Dreamer. It's not the Joseph the Dreamer. I close my eyes, just like that.
Yeah,
It's the
super
version of
quote na yan eh.
the anong CD na yun? Cantata. It's a gospel gospel group, and the music is already available, which is remastered and reimagined by
Oo.
our musical director. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's how free. As long as you have the rights, go. Be
Oo.
creative as ano.
Wow. So it looks like there's really like a lot of a lot of liberties that you can sort of take. I personally enjoyed. I mean, I got to watch you guys. So Joseph the Dreamer, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
And so actually, maybe this is another thing we can really talk about now in terms of like not just like the opportunities, but what's actually happening like on the stage and sort of the preparation that goes behind it, right?
Oh my gosh, ayan na.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because man, like I've taken I know the sort of preparation it takes just to do like a concert, right, for street dance, and how we work all these days to do this one performance, and after that one performance I'm like good na. And then you talk to somebody who's in theater, like, yeah, I just did 3 shows today, and you're like, what? So
I just did 100 shows this month.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow, ganun.
So talk to me a little bit about the physical aspect of being able to do the shows in that manner, the kind of preparation that goes into it. Let's start first to go with Coleen, like your personal experience with Joseph, and then Jim, you could probably jump off of that and also relate some of your older experiences as well. Older.
Mga few shows mo,
Yeah.
Jim.
Sige.
Hindi, pero for me, yung mahirap lang talaga, like parang naging trigger sa akin sa pag-question ng talents ko is yung musical rehearsals namin. Like it's really, and then kami pa ni Sam Libaw yung magka range ng voice. So by that time,
it's just a small cast girls lang sila.
Oo,
like,
sobrang
5 lang sila. Oh.
Yeah. And then kami pang dalawa yung pair. And
Right.
then kami ano tong ginagawa namin, ganyan. And then ayun, parang from yung anak ni Sam. Anyway. Speaking of, pero like sobrang na-challenge din talaga kami. Pero nung time na nag-dance na, like parang lahat ng singers and lahat ng theater actors, sila naman yung like kinakabahan ng time na yun. Na parang let's help each other, ganyan. Kasi nung time talaga, kasi nagulat din kami na si Coach Arda yung choreo. And then, I mean, when parang kilala namin siya as like very hip-hop na dancer and coach, like parang as in parang competition-wise. Pero I mean like, ang ganda ng pagkakagawa niya sa Joseph the Dreamer. Pero like lahat ng mga theater actors, yung like parang start pa lang ng choreo, parang si Ate Brie, ayoko na, hindi ko na kaya. Yan, pero like, I mean, nung may one time din na like super lapit na ng show, and then parang we're cleaning the opening, and like we're like doing super sharp stuff, and then parang lahat ng tao parang hindi ko na kaya, ganyan. And pero like sinabi namin like as dancers na parang hindi pa nga kung sa compet yan as in masusuka ka na lang and all kasi grabe talaga yung cleaning na pag competitions and like pag nasa dance crew ka talaga. Pero nung time talaga na yun parang sobrang intense din talaga kasi you're singing also with and dancing at the same time. And then dancing pa na sobrang hip-hop. I mean like syempre cardio yun, tapos parang may part doon na nabababa kami and then like ang taas ng pitch parang paano yun? So parang sobrang kailangan din. As in like parang
do you guys talk about that, like let's say in the middle of it you're like, okay, I'm not going to be able to hit this song anymore, so can we adjust? Is there room for flexibility there?
Since it's Kuya MJ's first musical, he doesn't know the limitations of the diaphragm also. So like I just look at him like it will not happen. But if you're physically physically prepared for it naman, it can happen. But musical
with practice din rin naman.
Practice din.
Right. Yeah, I remember watching the choreo there, and I was completely surprised. Like, oh, lupit naman nito. Parang ano, like I was watching a competition because it was a dance. Like it wasn't like your normal,
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
hey, hey, hey. I was like,
Yeah.
ganito sila.
Meron pang ano dun eh. Meron pang ano yun, parang,
And some people even thought that it was lip sync. Everyone's live
oo.
singing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Naka-mute lang kami. Joke lang. Hininaan lang yung volume nung amin. Joke.
So, Jim, maybe you can also expand a little bit on.
Well, it goes down. The preparation goes down to the discipline. It's
Okay.
still a discipline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Musical theater is a discipline, but it's a mixture of all disciplines: acting, singing, dancing, focusing, listening. But everything is on the spot. You don't have time to prepare. That's why we say in theater, just yes always, and don't ask. You ask yourself why, but don't say no. Because if you don't try it, you not know if you're gonna make it.
Yeah,
Because and it's not far also from dancing, because you need to be physically fit, even if you're big person or you're thin person. Because
especially sa professional dance world.
If you feel that your body is already easy, you're doing it wrong. It needs to feel something that's hindi naman hurting, pero like it needs to be not comfortable with yourself, to know that you're trying. Okay, there's a difference between trying and being, because the preparation of musicals is talagang para sa compet. Mas mahirap pa. Kasi syempre, in compet, you let's say, how many months do you train if it's compet?
Almost half a year.
Almost half a year, di ba? For a 4-minute routine.
Yeah.
In musical, hindi. You only have the ample time
2
of
months.
The shortest before was 2 weeks. The Atlantis before was 2 weeks. 2 days music, 4 days choreo, 2 days blocking, tech week, and then show. That's how fast they did it.
Wow.
Because it also differs to the time of people, time of the venue, the rights. Even the musicals that have rights, it like you need to perform this show within this month. So bilang lahat yon. Even if you do summer workshops, that's within 2 months. Kailangan makapag pag wala kang sayaw sa di ba penalty ka, or syempre tsaka, di ba, na parang but wala ka na buong dance, hindi ka na. So it's time constrained, not like in compet but in terms of the discipline, everything's the same. If not possible, everyone needs to work out para talagang in top shape ka talaga.
Yeah.
Everything. But the nice thing about theater, you can push it like compet during rehearsals, and then you can settle it, not comfortably, settle it within meaning balancing out. Babalik tayo sa sinabi natin, kailangan balance lang. Para you can last, because you're still a person, you can last the whole run. Like for a 12 run show or 100, I did 250 shows already.
Wow.
But the main thing that will keep you up during those shows is the audience.
Okay.
I've messaged you already about this, Maya, na iba pa rin if there's live audience.
Yeah.
Diba? How can you do a full out competition if you're in Zoom? 1, 2, 3. Tapos yung audience pa, even if you do this in Zoom, what's this? Come. Hindi naman hype ba to? Di ba you can, if you just say A, what if you're like, you can even, di ba? Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of good insight there. I can never imagine myself being able to pull off that many, but like you said, you kind of normalize into that groove over time. What I wanted to ask also, just to kind of expand on that, is let's look at the choreography, or let's look at the quality of like being able to determine if a show is good or if it's not, right? More so than just like the turnout of the audience, but if it's just a quality show. Because I remember this, I remember watching I won't say the name of the show, and I remember watching it. I was like, grabe, ang lupit ng blocking, ang lupit ng choreography, right? And then I remember asking somebody, and they said, oh yeah, that's normal. Like it hasn't aged, parang it's super dated na. Now, with exception to Joseph, because obviously that was a new endeavor for the choreographers and really for a lot of the team. Again, so maybe in terms of history, we can talk to Jim about this.
Yeah.
But like how has like the sort of, when we talk about quality, and you can talk about it from a choreography perspective, so how do we sort of, what sort of things are you seeing that have improved from the past? And then maybe if there are other things other than dance that allow us to identify whether we're looking at a quality production or not. Sorry, that one came out of nowhere.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, basically, if it depends, it still depends on the audience perspective.
Okay.
Or the director's perspective, or even the art's perspective. Like,
okay,
if you're really doing it for show, then go for it. I mean, people will wow for it.
Okay.
There's also, like now during quarantine, if you're really trying to help, diba? It's like fundraising.
Okay.
It depends on the objective of the show. That's how I see if it's a good show or a bad show. Because sometimes people do shows na parang, okay, it's nice, but deep inside, patay na yung mga actors. I mean, kumbaga sabi nga ni Coleen, pigang-piga na kami. Wala na po kami may ibibigay sa inyo. Hanggang doon na lang po tayo. So that's how you can see if it's balance, if going back to balance, if the audience like it, the director likes it, the money is there, that's a good show. People applaud for it. That's a really good show. But if somewhere in between there's like very, very low compensation, or like audience is high, credits to the audience but to the actors, talagang balance lang siya to be good, diba? In order for in your life naman, kailangan everything's balanced so you can live a long life, diba? So same din with art. Art is life, art is work.
Yeah. So
yes.
So like you're saying, so really it comes down to the overall experience, right? Parang everything from the direction, the people you're with, and that's what's gonna help you determine like whether you've had a quality show, and everything else after that, it seems like.
Sorry, may isang sample lang ako.
Go ahead.
I know this one show, best in publication. Ganda yan. The new, ganyan. New musical, ganyan. No audience.
Wala.
No audience. Super hype, but no audience. The actors are stressed. Diba? And then, let's not go into details. Because we might... Oops.
So really, like, okay, so let's say, like you said, you can have the audience there, and then you have a great experience for everybody. And even if the choreography, maybe in your eyes, it's just like nothing new, ganon. At the end of it, it's subjective, right? And it's really just like the overall experience that everybody's having. And
even in choreography, sorry, nakalimutan yung choreography side. Even in choreography, kasi even if you have good choreography, but if the actors or dancers are crappy, it's bad.
Yeah, true.
You can say that. Like, people are saying, because there's an excuse. Like, there's an article that came out that actors tend to say, are you a dancer? They will not say, I'm a dancer, but I'm a mover.
Wow.
True naman.
Of course, people can move. Diba? I believe naman people are dancers. The minute you wake up, you're already doing actions already. That's already dance. But this technicality aspect, because you're building in theater, you're doing what's normal in an abnormal state. Yet, so I'd be like, how do you wake up in the theater abnormally but looking normal? You can't be like when you wake up in the morning, but you're like, Mommy, where's my breakfast? You don't do that naman, diba? In real life, diba?
Well, I was gonna ask, do you find yourself, like, for both of you guys, do you find like your little habits that you've developed into theater, like, just come into like everyday life bigla? I mean, well, see Coleen, she's in general very like out, you know what I mean? Like a lot of energy. So does that happen often for you guys? Na parang medyo nag-theater ako dun ah.
Well, more on dancer eh. Like,
okay.
More on parang feeling ko, ba't ako gumaganto pag nagsasalita ako? Like, ba't kailangan yung actions ko? Kailangan. Ganon. Mas dancer eh. But ganun, like, mga friends ko din na dancers. And like, pag theater naman, very, alam mo yun, very, merong posture na give na give. Yeah. And like parang same siya with TVC din. Like parang very, alam mo yung parang commercial, like yung mga ganap.
Just to jump off of that, kasi parang in terms of dance, I kind of relate. Like sometimes I'm in the middle of like a meeting before like business meeting, and they would say that every time I'm talking, parang it looks like I'm dancing kasi I do this and all of that. So what I want to ask is it normal to encounter theater people who, let's say, like you meet them in person in everyday life and they're just like sax lang, parang chill, very like reserved. And then when theater mode is on, they're like, "Wah!" And how often is this kind of person, and how often is like the, so you have the switch on, switch off person, and then you have the person na, ganun talaga siya. It's no wonder kaya talaga sila nagpumasok sa theater. Jim, maybe you have some insight on that.
It depends on the financial status. If the actors or like those people who are there already, they'll be like, in their normal state, they'll be like, chill. But if it's like we need to work for it. Like
for
if you're like
status.
us, like Coleen, when she did a campaign in Kumu, she needs to have the energy all the time for 15 days because you need to get those points for you to win that campaign.
Yeah,
and
true.
Going back to that, it's more of like, it's the energy. You meet those kinds of people in theater. Like if you're theater people, you're loud.
Right.
But if it's show, because we learn each other's character.
Yeah.
It's weird though. It goes back to the TVC also. It goes back to dancing. If you know the character, you can tone it down, or it's nice because you live a life that's not yours.
Wow.
Yun eh. So even if I'm not a dancer, but my role is a dancer, I need to be a dancer.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, it's not even fake it till you make it. You need to make it. That's the gawin mo.
And
Got it?
That's so interesting because parang I didn't expect that answer you had. I thought it was just like, I thought the answer was going to be like, oh, it depends, depending on sino kasama mo. But the fact that it's a reality where it could be a status thing, that the longer you've been, the more of a name that you've built up, you can sort of relax and let your reputation sort of carry you and say, you don't have to show up like that all the time because they know that you'll deliver. Whereas if you're brand new to it, you're going to have to show them that I'm ready whenever I need that lead part, That's really cool. Really, I don't know, but really cool insight there. So let's talk a little bit about experience, and just maybe there's some stuff you can discuss, like your favorite moment from a theater experience. Let's start with Coleen first, because obviously you've had Joseph, and maybe there's something there that you would really like to remember, and then maybe Jim, you can go through what stuck out for you in your career.
What?
Career in general. Favorite part or like the most memorable experience nung JTD kasi, well, siguro yung rehearsal talaga. Because like yun yung time na yung time na like iba-iba yung ginagawa namin, and like kailangan mo rin talagang yun nga, with the time, kasi meron din kaming other life within the rehearsals so kailangan mong i-balance din talaga yun. And yung rehearsals talaga, like may time na sobrang like nasasabaw na and stuff, like normally kahit training sa dance crew, as in like parang ano na nangyayari, mag-zone out ka na lang and all, pero kailangan pag isang ganyan, kailangan gawa din talaga agad.
Exactly.
Pero iba rin yung feeling kapag nandun ka na sa show. Kasi parang, ang bilis na pala, naka 3 months na tayo, and then nag-show na tayo. And like, parang iba rin yung feeling na nakikita mo yung lahat ng tao na sobrang na-appreciate yung buong show and like buong pinaghirapan nyo. And for me, that's the great thing about performing. Yung parang na-appreciate ng lahat yung hard work mo.
Well, let me ask you this, right? Kasi parang you've had the opportunity to be like do dance concerts, and you've also had the opportunity to do multiple shows. I mean, how does it feel? Like, is it the same feeling? Is one better than the other? Na, when you finish a concert, yung feeling of satisfaction is like, this is great, right? We're talking dance concert. And then when we're talking a show, it's like you're doing that like every day, like you're getting that feeling every day. So what I want to know is that feeling parang equal to this dance concert experience? Or like, are they the same, like, and then multiplied like this? Or is it like all these little ones amount to this? Does that make sense?
Well, for me, like, sobrang different ng experience. Like, lang feeling also. Because like sa dance world kasi, yung mga nakita sa'yo, it's like yung dance community people. And like yung mga pero pag nandun ka sa show, like yung show namin, ang daming like big people na nanood. And like parang, oh my God, like parang, you're so great. Parang, oh my God, seryoso po ba? Feeling din that time. And like, usually kasi naman pag mga show, like mga companies, hindi ko naman kilala yung mga tao. So, parang, okay, nagawa ko yung show, ganyan. Pero iba talaga yung feeling na well, same training, iba rin talaga. Pero ako kasi like medyo frustrated singer ako. So parang nakaka-fulfill lang din na you sing and you dance at the same time and like you're performing and interacting with other people. Well, in concerts din naman sa dance world, like parang usually uso na yung may mga concept eh. Kaya parang natututo na rin yung mga dancers na mag-act and like character-wise.
Yeah.
So, that's a big thing din. Like parang, emotional, ganyan. And like parang acting, may jowa, ganyan. Pero iba rin talaga, like, yun, it's medj same, pero in terms of like, yung nakakanood ka sa'yo, like professionally, so iba rin yung feeling na ma-appreciate ka ng other people na yun.
I think I know what you mean, which is like when you're performing in a concert and you're performing for people who are fans of you already, who are willing to support you. It's a different feeling when you're performing for people who have no idea who you are, never heard of you, and they're willing to stand up and clap, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. So Jim, maybe you can expand on that. And what I'd also like to ask you is, does the feeling ever normalize? Na parang at the end of a standing ovation show, or at the end of the show, it's like normal now, or does that feeling of like, oh my gosh, we did this? Like, does it happen every time? And is it different when you're on the very, very last show?
Okay, there's a lot of situations. Number one, going back to the audience nga. Yeah. We had this problem before, during the early days of my theater career, is we need to educate the audience first. Because educating a theater audience is hard because pag hindi mo sila naturuan, wala sila may invite. Kumbaga hindi siya mag-word of mouth. Kasi wala pang social media nun. Everything's poster talaga. And if you're not invited, you don't know that show. What show is about that. But now, sa dance community, like sinabi nga ni Coleen, sa dance community kasi, it's hard kasi it's only a one-night show.
Yeah.
But you're fulfilled because of the whole process. Diba? Yun yung masarap dun. After ng rehearsals, you had that one-night show, masarap. It's the same nga with theater. You have rehearsals, but the thing is you have chance to perform it more than once. Yeah, that's why the feeling is more mutual. More mutual. The feeling is more talaga intense kasi ito na naman tayo sa saying natin. Sabi nga ni Tito Oli, perform like it's your last.
Exactly.
Kasi sa dance, you can say that pag concert. Perform like it's your last. Totoo na, may isang araw lang naman yung concert. Wala, unless may racket yung dance or something.
Okay.
Yun yung palagi. Like, because not only your last, but the audience last also. Because some audience, oh my God, I might cry. They might watch you for the last time. So, di ba? Parang, like, especially quarantine. After nito quarantine, pagbalik natin sa stage, sino pang nandyan? Sino pang mga veteranong manunood? Sino pang mga dancer na natira? Kumbaga, matira-matibay. Yun yung mahirap. And, yes, it's nice educating also your co-actors. Yun yung gusto ko eh. Like, even if I'm in dance or even if I'm in theater, I like working with new people. Because, of course, connections expand. But, you learn something from them.
Yep.
Diba? Yeah. Ako, I learned from Coleen. Talaga, kahit puyat ka na, energy mo dapat, mataas energy ko because they know me in theater as an energy boy. But tinalo na ako ni Coleen. Kumbaga, sa'yo na, o sa'yo na yung corona. Grabe yung energy ni Coleen.
Trabaho lang.
As in, ano pa lang attendance sheet pa lang. Coleen Paz! Attendance sheet pa lang yun What more? Tapos kung break time, pati yung pagkain, may energy, di ba? Yun. So you learn from each other. Even the new steps kids, even with Teacher Maya. Oh my God, naabutan ko na ata lahat ng hip-hop teacher sa steps. From Sir J pa. Sir J to Ate Yang and to you and to Sir na, Coach Hernan. Iba talaga yung learning experience, and that's how an artist grow. You get what will make you a better person. Okay, not as an artist, but a better person. Because even if you're good in art, but your personality naman is
totoo.
So art is there, but it will fuel your personality.
Wow. Well.
I like what you said, Jim, kasi parang it's a mixture of both. Like you've got the audience appreciation, but I loved how you also incorporated like learning from each other and just that community of people who have been together for that long, trying to achieve something, and get excellence every day. It's such a full, honestly, like a full experience. You know what I mean? Like informing bond. So that's really interesting.
It's not only pala learning with each other, even learning with the audience. Because if you're doing originals, you're waiting for their reaction. Like even our first show in Joseph, did they react on that? If not, we need to change that tomorrow. It's like technically you're doing it's like you're doing a competition na may viewing, and then all the other coaches be like, change this, do that. See, ito hindi naka-point, si ganyan. May mga comments. It's that what you call visual discipline. It's that creative process.
Right.
Bilang your product is creative impact.
Yeah. So more often than not, would you say that by the end of all your shows, that last one is probably like the most, fine-tuned? I mean, and not even taking into account, because the first one could be a rough draft, but your energy is like up, right?
Yeah.
But the last one is fine-tuned, but your energy could be like, we've been doing this for like 100 shows now. So is that right? Like, what is it like from the energy of how you're ending the show and yeah, I'm not sure if I'm making sense there, but
like what the director said, always find something new in your work. Because if you get jaded with the work or with the show, it will not work for you. It will not work for your co-actors, because basically at the end of the day, it's energy pass. I have my energy. I give it to you. You give it to the audience. The audience gives it back. So it's a balance between everybody.
Yeah.
That's why wow, nag-recall natin. Good shows have this thing that makes you goosebumps because you felt that energy.
Yeah.
Diba? Kumbaga, kaya sabi ko, the feeling is mutual.
Yeah. That's awesome. Man, just when I get to hear like your experiences in theater and what you parang went through, it makes me a little jealous that I didn't get to try something. I mean, the closest thing that I got to that was dance. I almost was able to do, it wasn't theater, but it was like a show choir thing back in high school. It just so happened that the conflict show with one of my schedules and I couldn't do it. But I thought to myself, like, man, that would have been, because I love not just the idea of like the story, the how people break off into song and the attention to dance, and it's an amazing parang experience. So you've talked a lot about like audience, about like being with your castmates and things like that, and so now I want to go in a little bit of detail. We're gonna kind of wrap up here, but these are probably like the last sort of two subject areas that I kind of want to tackle, which is again, now we're looking at the new normal, which is a difficult situation for everybody, not just in the arts, but in so many other different professions and businesses and things like that. But is there any insight that you guys can share in terms of how the theater community is really adapting to this new normal? I know, Jim, you touched a little bit on it earlier, and maybe maybe you would like to go into a bit more detail on that. You want to go?
Theater now is adapting.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is the most scary part about it. This is one of the longest times that theater had stopped. Theater survived war. Theater survived calamities. Ondoy, Yolanda, even Sketches 5 survived Ondoy. But, this is the longest. That's the scary part about it. That's why we're adapting with the help of technology and each other, and being more creative than before. But you need to be kumbaga, if you're selling insurance, you need to be open-minded, because art is not strict. It's an open book. Wow. But you need to set your limitations also, because everyone is dealing with their own mental health. So giving some art na hindi applicable for people might cause someone, diba? It's a what do you call this? It's a result of your energy pa din. So it needs to be find your in these times, find your own audience. Start with small first. You don't go to big groups agad, because even in dance, kasi lalo na theater kaya kasi we talk, we express, there's a lot of videos, we can research. But sa dance kasi it's movement diba? Whatever the teacher do in one screen, it's different from the other. So So it's looking talaga for being creative, open-minded, and patience.
Yeah.
That's what you apply for this time. Kasi nga, lagi tayong sinasabi natin na, tapos yung quarantine, we're gonna go back. But sadly, after Christmas, we still need to wear face masks.
Yeah.
If I see you, Teacher Maya, or if I see Coleen, I can't even hug you unless you have your own testing kit. O alam naman, magdala akong testing kit sa sarili ko. Test muna kita, let's hug na. Ganon. Siyempre, hindi naman. Di ba? So it's better to be safe, yet, safe and educationally, what do you call this? Healthy. Educationally, what's busog in English? Educationally full. Educationally full in all. Kung this is the time to learn as much as you can. Because kahit we're okay na with school, kids are dealing with online learning. Sabayan na lang natin yun. Sabayan natin na mag-aral din tayo kasi iba din yung perspective. Kumbaga it depends on people's perspective pa din.
Nice. Very nice. Yes. Ikaw, Coleen, maybe you can speak on this too.
Yeah, and to add on that lang, kasi di ba sinabi nga ni Jim na parang, ito kasi yung time, for me, ako personally, it's my time to invest on myself. Like, kasi ako, like, di ba, hindi naman ako like, wala pa naman ako masyadong madaming professional theater experiences. So, parang more investing myself, like, kunwari, yun nga, yung Kumu, kasi doon na-practice ko yung kanta-kanta ko, ganyan. And then parang sabi ko, oy, kabahan na kayo dyan after nito.
Tsaka diba, sorry, speaking of Kumu, a lot of theater people are in Kumu
now.
Exactly.
Kasi sabi ni Jim din kanina na parang lahat ng mga theater people ngayon, sobrang artistic na. As in like sa Kumu, para siyang merong parang every studio, parang merong studio na iba-iba yung nangyayari. Like, merong nag-karaoke, merong nag-Disney night, merong, as in like, iba-iba. And like, madaming theater people ang sobrang, parang akala mo may show every night just to, parang siguro sanity na rin kasi gets, parang, I mean, ang tagal na rin nilang hindi nag-perform and stuff. So, I mean, like, it's a good platform din and for us to enhance our skills kasi parang by that time na mag-open yung shows or like may auditions and stuff, at least parang ready na kami for that.
I love that. I love how you guys are taking that approach in terms of let's not waste the time that we have now.
Yeah,
obviously it also depends on the opportunities, right? Because if you have the ability to just explore and learn, that's great. There are going to be situations that you're just going to have to focus on putting food on the table because you don't have the luxury of learning, right?
Yeah.
And those are very real circumstances. But I like what you guys did in terms of like, actually, sometimes I even look at those situations and I'm like, because I'm not in that situation, I feel more like obliged, like, man, I got to take advantage of it because I have this awesome opportunity to in fact learn it. And how people are different, building different skill sets and like you said, parang they're trying different avenues, even though theater is not there, whether it's private classes and tutoring, whether it's in the Kumu app. I know that there's also even now like people are looking for voiceover work, right? You can also apply.
Yes.
To try out. So it's an interesting thing because and what's great is I love your answer from the both of you because when I was thinking of like how's the theater community adjusting, parang my first thought process like, oh well, we're gonna try and do like digital plays like this or like try and do a stream session like more from a logistics like execution perspective. I loved how you guys took the angle of just like how we're dealing with this as people. Dealing with it
kumbaga to make it short, sabi nga ni Dora, Dora, diba? Sabi ni Dora, it's not an excuse anymore because in dancing, in theater, there's no excuses. So now learning is not an excuse because there's a lot of platforms. There's a lot of, even in MRT, you can see digital screens that doing TikTok. TikTok is even a nice
another platform.
Another platform. So it's not an excuse. There's a lot of options. It's up to you how you manage your time and how your mental state is. Where is your mental state? And just because of the situation, it's not an excuse na kasi walang ganito, kasi walang ganyan. Kahit wala kang there are ways. There will be always there basta may paraan palagi.
Basta may budget. Joke.
We find ways.
That's awesome. Really cool stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff here, both for a dancer, a performer, somebody who wants to do TVC, somebody who wants to explore theater, and even people who are thinking about navigating like their skill sets now, given the the pandemic that we're in. So I'd like to sort of summarize a little bit in terms of let's look at your theater experience, and maybe you could just explain what were some of the best lessons that you've taken from your experience. Actually, it could be limited to theater. If you feel like you would like to involve TVC, like to, because we're looking at it from a professional perspective, right? Because it could be, the profession of dance, the profession of this and that. So what are some of the best lessons you feel like you've taken from that? And we'll go with you, Coleen, first, because obviously si Jim has
madami siya.
History.
Actually, ako naman dito sa lessons, mabilis lang ako dito kasi I always implement this to my students, to my co-actors. Yeah.
Okay. So
sige, but si Coleen na muna.
Nagsalita pa. I'm actually gonna be very short about it.
Ang ganda ng intro mo, Jim.
Para may sasabihin tama.
Sige, ako na nga para ano. So,
okay.
I always tell this to my students na yun nga, be open-minded, be forgiving there, because forgive yourself, because sometimes we're strict on ourselves na I can't do it, I can't. Yun lang. It's more of selflessness of yourself, because in order for you to learn, you need to embrace it.
Yeah.
For now, that's my online lesson for everyone. And in the real world, appreciate.
Yeah.
This is where we appreciate the smallest thing. Even yung pag-tap ko ng beep card, tuwang-tuwa na ako. Kasi nung time na nagagawa ko ngayon, hindi na. So yun lang.
Wow. Those are like life lessons. Gabi, nice one. Coleen, no pressure.
Theater. Yeah, that's also theater.
Coleen, no pressure naman, just
pero ito like in general, lalo na nung quarantine, hindi na naman nag-quarantine, parang na-trigger lang din siya ng quarantine.
Okay.
Pero like parang don't be intimidated by other people. Like, I mean, nakaka-intimidate sila, pero mas wag mong i-push yung sarili mo na, hindi ko kayang gawin yun. Like, ako, kunwari, to be honest, na-intimidate ako sa mga taong nasa IG stories ko or like IG feed ko because like everyone's dancing and all, lalo na sa dance community. Pero parang, for me, it's parang parang yun yung way nila to be parang maging alive or whatever. Pero like kunwari sa TVC din, parang wag ka ma-intimidate dun sa mga model, ganyan, and everyone. Kasi parang you have your own fire, ganun. Parang you have your own thing. So parang
believe in yourself.
Yeah, believe in yourself. Like parang kung ako hindi ako magaling na singer, parang I have to do stuff or like parang enhance my skill para makuha ko yung skill na yon. Like parang invest on yourself, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina. And that's the thing, para hindi ka ma-intimidate. Kasi kung ma-intimidate ka lang, parang yun nga, kagaya ni sinabi ni Jim, kailangan mo i-accept. Kasi sino bang mag-a-accept sa'yo kundi ikaw, ganun.
Wow, yeah.
So parang by this time, ikaw lang talaga yung parang sa atin lahat. I mean like in general, like in theater, TVC, or dance-wise, or in singing, or whatever. Parang, yun, it's really this time para mag-invest sa sarili and para by that time nga na matapos na yung pandemic, at least kahit papano, meron tayong maibubuga, ganyan.
Yeah.
So, yan. Kasi ibang ano rin yung mental health kasi alam mo na nga lahat nga nasa social media, and mostly lahat ng pinapakita sa social media, hindi naman yung mga bad side, di ba? Usually, like, kung ano lang maganda yan, ganyan. Yeah. Pero like, lahat naman, hindi naman perfect. So, at least kahit pa paano, huwag mo nang i-mind.
Sabi ni Coleen, kumbaga na parang, help yourself before helping others.
Wow.
Exactly. Helping hands pala.
I love that. It's like you guys, like you touched on it, like, you want to forgive yourself, help yourself, You know, what I'm also sort of drawing from this is like, you know, especially with the effect of social media and how well everyone else is doing, it's really focus on like running your own race, you know?
Wait lang,
true.
may sample lang sa Help Yourself kasi nga, number one kasalanan sa theater at sa dancing. Yung tipong, hindi mo pa tinutulungan sa sarili mo, nagtuturo ka na sa iba. Parang,
Exactly.
ganito kasi, tapos biglang, ikaw pala yung mali. So, yun yung sinasabi namin na parang, as a lesson in life, tulungan mo na sarili mo, ba't tayo tutulungan yung iba, di ba?
Wow, that is deep. That is deep. That's awesome, man.
True.
I love that. Love that. Cool. Wow. So many great insights here, both in theater and, you know, professional world, and as well as, just life in general. Thank you guys for sharing. And
Thank you.
Thank you also.
I want to take this time, just maybe if there's something that you guys would like to shout out or promote that you guys are sort of working on now. Coleen, would you like to start first?
Well, guys, please do follow me. Hindi, yun lagi sinasabi pag nasa Kumu.
Yes.
Pero yes, yun lang naman. Like, it's my platform naman to anything. Like, Kumu is life nga now. So, I mean, anything like show, parang mukha na ka nag-show dyan, nagbumukbang or anything. I'm just there. You'll see me random days and nagla-love guru po ako kahit Love Guru, yes.
Kumbaga, naka-live vlogging si Coleen palagi.
Wait,
ganon.
Can I put you on the spot? Can you for the people that are watching this who have never seen you on Kumu, can you give us like an introduction of like when somebody tunes into your video, what should they expect when you're introducing yourself? So let's
Hi everyone.
Go ahead, good. Kunyari Kumu to. What does that look like?
Hi mga bagong pasok dyan. Hi sa mga bagong pasok dyan. Please do follow me. I'm your streamer for today, Coleen Paz. And please share this live and do those hearts. And if you can share some love drop your virtual gifts for us. Yan. And please watch our shows every Wednesday, Love Guru, 4 p.m. Ayan, guys. So,
that's awesome.
Very pangmasa lang.
That, that's actually very hard. You know, like when we do something like this, I can feed off of energy of you guys and I can talk. But that whole monologuing thing of just talking to the camera, tapos, thank you for sending. Oy, hi to you too. I said that's ibang energy.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your sample.
Sample lang po yun, guys. Kaya follow me.
Jim, aren't you? Is there something you'd like to promote? Yes, I believe. Yeah, I also have my Kumu account. Please follow me at Jim Andrew in Kumu and on my Instagram, Jim Andrew Ferrer. Yes, follow those socials me just. Yes, and also I still believe in going back to basic. So the start of pandemic, we had Zoom classes. I'm still on that platform, basic Zoom teaching, which is on stage online workshops. We teach basic theater, basic musical theater, basic acting, storytelling, and dancing. Sometimes dancing TikTok. And for my advanced naman, if you can inquire at Shirley Halili Cruz for musical theater dancing. Nice. So it's dancing also, but catering towards the theater. And what else? That's it. Stay safe, everyone. Wash your hands, social distancing. Drink lots of water and vitamin C. It's not yet over because sa ibang bansa, may wave 2 na. So please, bawal pasaway. Yeah. Please still wear your face mask and face shield para flat na talaga yung curve natin by middle of next year.
Very nice. That's a nice way to end it, man. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This has been Coach Jim Ferrer and Coleen Paz. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, I will leave the information here to you can follow them on screen and please support them. I thank you guys so much for sharing the insights. I hope that the people that are watching this did get some value out of it. And best of luck to all the future endeavors that we have together. I'm sure this won't be the last time we get to chat again. But for everyone else, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Peace out. Season 5, episode 5.
Bye. Nice. Bye.